So what's up, guys? Today we're here sitting down with Iculous. If you know why we're here, we're doing this podcast, the No Name Podcast. And the goal here is to feature a streamer, a lower end streamer. That's why it's called the No Names, right? We have No Name. We're kind of starting out. We're at the lower end of the spectrum. We don't get a whole lot of viewers, don't get a whole lot of outreach, don't get a whole lot of attention. And this podcast here is to bring a streamer on, let him discuss a couple of questions: who he is, what he wants to do for his future, what kind of struggles he has, and just let him spotlight himself and show you guys, the viewers, who he is. And then maybe you want to check him out. Maybe you want to catch a live stream of him, see what his content is behind the scenes. So this is what this is about. We want to spotlight a streamer. And today's streamer, it's your boy, Iculous. The man, the myth, the legend. We talk about him all the time on Twitter. He's here with us. So how you doing today, man?
Great, man. Great. Thanks for having me on this. Thanks for the Twitch community and the Kick community and all those communities, the YouTube community. Everybody that's streaming out there, I appreciate everybody. I think that's huge. I mean, this community that's, all about gaming and getting together, having good conversation. It's awesome.
Yeah. Community is something that we're trying to build here with these podcasts. As we go along, we want to establish a community. We want to show you this streamer. We're going to try to support that streamer as best we can, whoever we bring on. And you'll see that as we do more podcasts, what we do at the end. If you watch the previous video, we want to try to raid somebody at the end. Our streamer, we want to raid them at the end. And if not, we raid somebody that they pick. So we want to try to build a community, build stuff like this. So maybe you're thinking, why are we interviewing Iculous? Well, if you watch that first video, we talked about we want to have maybe 2 or 3 co-streamers or I gotta stop saying co-streamers, co-hosts to do this interview. We've decided on just doing 2 instead of 3. We want to make it more personal so people aren't talking over each other. So our first co-host for these streams is going to be Iculous. And so we're going to have him on, give his side of the story so you know a little bit about him. So going forward, when we do interviews, he's not a stranger when he's on the videos. So let's jump right into it, man. First question that we have to ask, let me look it up here. Who are you? Pretty simple. Who are you? Tell us who you are.
Yeah, so my real name is Reed. And my streamer name is Iculous. And the reason why my streamer name is Iculous is if you put those two together, it's ridiculous. I got the name because my wife kept calling me ridiculous when I'd make comments or do something just ridiculous, So I was like, you know what, my name's Reed. Let me just pull the Iculous out of there. So yeah, you got Iculous. So I'm 34 years old. I'm a father, a husband. I like bourbon. I enjoy music. Long walks in the woods. No, just kidding. But
Dancing
I
in the
like
rain
playing
a little bit.
Yeah, dancing in the rain. Yeah, I play games. And I love playing games with great friends and meeting new people. So that's me.
That's you in a nutshell. I'm sure there is a lot more to you than that story, and we will probably learn a lot more as these videos continue, because I guarantee we're going to talk to other people and then we're going to hear their story, and then we're going to chime in and tell us more about our story. And that's just how this is going to work out. But cool little introduction on your name. I didn't know that before tonight, and that's very funny. You asked me the other day what my name was or what it, and I have no story for it, and it's just the most random thing ever. But yours has a cool little story. That's pretty awesome. I mean, I've always thought of like Iculous, like it sounds like a Greek god type thing. Like, what is that all about? But now I know.
Right.
Cool beans. So that is Iculous, or ridiculous, if you will, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So the next question is, what is your biggest achievement in streaming?
I would say my biggest achievement is, I mean, I wouldn't think that we have like a specific biggest achievement. I think every achievement that we have is big. So I think starting from 2018 when I started streaming on Twitch, my biggest achievement at that point was turning a computer on
Mm.
and getting in front of a camera and I did that out of the blue without any layouts, not knowing anything, just having a camera on, playing video games. And I was not good at video games, and I try to get better, and everybody tries to get better. That's my biggest achievement at that point in time. I think my next biggest achievement after that was getting my first viewer. My next biggest achievement after that was getting somebody to talk to me, and then getting somebody to follow me, and so on and so forth. And I think that's everybody's biggest achievement, is like the next step, the next thing. It's if you're not affiliated, you're going for, being verified, you're going for the next thing, you're going for this consistency, this. Everybody wants to have a great community to get to the top of that community and be able to have that feeling of leadership, and being the manager, and having that communication and community. I think it's awesome. So I think biggest achievements is just, there's always bigger achievements to go after. My biggest achievement so far is to this point. So this moment. So
Yeah, so the progression, the progression of hitting all the little mini goals, that's your biggest achievement. And I think we can all pretty much relate to that. We all start out somewhere small, we all have, and just being able to see progress. So basically, you seeing your progress would be your greatest achievement. And I think you're right when it's really kind of hard to pick what our greatest achievement is. But if you're a smaller streamer, it might be hard to come up with one. And just seeing incremental progress is a big achievement in itself. That's something great. A lot of people don't see any progress. They might be still streaming to zero viewers, and they could have been doing that for 4 or 5 years. So
yeah.
seeing that progress, that is a big
And
achievement.
and I think, like, everybody has, like, say I have, like, I get a sub today. That achievement might be, I might be getting 200 subs every single day, and I start to become numb to kind of like the one sub or the one gifted sub, whatever that looks like. For somebody that just started and just gets affiliated, that one sub, that means the world to them. So
Hmm.
that's a big achievement. So everybody's achievements are a little bit different, but we always have greater goals in mind, bigger achievements. So I think that's
Yeah,
awesome.
especially if you have, if like one of your goals is to, maybe you're doing this for fun, but everybody kind of has that goal of, oh, I kind of want to get some subs or whatever. So that first
Mm.
sub, oh, it's like I've made it. My whole reason for doing this, it just happened. I just got a sub. Like
That's
that's
right.
so cool that could be achieved like that.
Hmm.
Okay, so that's your biggest success, biggest achievement is getting to where you are now, and that's a solid achievement. So there was probably problems along the way. So the next question is, what is the most challenging thing for you with streaming?
So yeah, my most challenging thing, I think, and I'm gonna kind of read this off as I wrote it, because a lot of this next two questions, they come from the heart in a way. But so if I sound a little robotic, it's because of that.
No worries.
Uh, Keeping a conversation with myself, it's somewhat lonely in my head. So part reason why I started the stream is because I wanted to have conversations with other people. And when I, you know, have conversations outside IRL, it's really hard for me to open up about this conversation. It's really hard for me to actually have a one-on-one conversation like this. Like me and you, between cameras and this, I could have a conversation with you all day. Like it's interesting. Um, so I'm trying to step out and make new connections. There's a lot of beautiful people in the world that, may be reserved and holding back their experiences and talents. And I think having this podcast or having this ability to exhaust those, like, it's awesome. So I think that's really cool, but it's always difficult. You know, I would hope that everybody can open up a chat, say hi, start a conversation. We're all different snowflakes. I think I told you that before,
Hmm.
it's really true. We're all different shapes and sizes, all different personalities. And it's just, there's so much out there. Like, let's explore it.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell that you're kind of a shy, reserved guy. Me, not so much. I don't look like I'm a shy, reserved guy. But we're in the same boat. If we go out into the world here and we're around our friends and whatever, we're the last one to talk. We're the last one to speak up, and especially if it's somebody new that we've never met before, we ain't talking first. There's no way we're talking first. They got to talk to me first.
Mhm.
I'm in the same boat as you. I don't want to talk. Like me talking is exhausting. It's exhausting. After I get done with this interview, I'm gonna go take a nap because it's exhausting. And I'm sure you're the same way. You just want to like go crawl in a hole and just take a nap, curl up with a blanket, and not talk for a week. That's how it is.
Yep.
And when you come into a streaming world like this, and the key, I mean, we've talked about this multiple times, and you said it earlier today. If you're not good at the game, you better be good at talking. So what happens when you're bad at both? You don't see that growth, right?
That's right.
So yeah, that's a challenge. I have that challenge. You have that challenge. I'm sure many other people have that challenge. But I
Mhm,
also think too that there's going to be a lot of people watching this that have never even thought about that. They have that gift of gab, like you were talking about the other day.
mhm.
They have that gift of gab, and they just don't understand that. So I think that's good that you brought that up. That there's a bunch of streamers out here that it's hard for them to just talk. That is the biggest part. It's hard to talk. That is a big
Yep.
challenge for sure. All right. So the next question we have, what are your is this the one we're on? Yeah. What are your future goals or plans for streaming?
That's a big one. And I'm glad you waited till the end to ask that question because this one could go on for a bit. But,
Yes, it could.
no. Um, so my future goals are to work less for the man, and more for a loving community. Um, in real life, I'm a project manager, like I told you that earlier, um, and have had successes through the growth in the industry. But there comes a time where you feel numb in a career, um, and every day blends into the next. I want to change that. So I want to live a life that will help others spiritually, intellectually, physically, financially, and relationally. I want to live a life as an example of what an exceptional life can look like. So we can make a big, or we can make a living, or we can design a life. And I think like a lot of those different quotes in there, are from books and stuff that I read about leadership development, personal development. Um, I want to progress this goal. We will get there eventually. I'll leave you with this though. This is only the start. We need to be patient, be loving, and be loyal. And I think that's the most important when we go into other people's streams. We need to be there for them, be loyal, be patient with what they are developing, and eventually our community will grow. So, thank you.
Yeah. So I'm glad that you said a bunch of the things that you said. You come off as wanting to be a leader, and I know that the first time I saw you, when I popped into your stream, I saw that you were a quiet dude. But
Mhm.
everything that you said was methodical. It was thought out. It was to the point. I knew that you were a guy to take the lead. Like I just knew that because I had this kind of idea that I wanted to do this podcast before, and I saw you, and I was like, I got to get this guy. This is the guy. He's got so much potential to be able to help others, to take the lead, to set an example of what a community needs to be. And I knew that when I saw you. I'm glad I got you sucked into this because you're gonna that goal that you want to become a leader, and you want to set the example of showing people what it's like to be a community, and you want to explore that goal. Having you here as the co-host is going to be just epic. It's going to be great because you're going to be able to bring that out in people as long as you can talk. That's the
I
one
appr
thing we got to work on. We
yeah.
got to work on you getting to be able to talk.
Yeah, I appreciate that slip, and I'm crying on the inside. I try not to cry too much on the outside because we're trying to be, and it's like when you put your heart into it and you put your heart into explaining your story, it very is it's definitely a emotional type of thing because I go into people's streams all the time, um, during the days, and I try to ask them like, "How's it going? How's your, what's your deal?" And they start to tell me about their story a little bit, but they reserve because, of course, nobody, they in their mind they're like, "I don't want to just have a sappy love or sappy story all the time."
Right.
But it's important to get that out there. It's important to feel that, and it's valid. Everybody's story is valid, and we should engage on those stories and get communities that have like stories. And I think that's very important. But I appreciate it, Slip. And when I jumped into your stream the first time and you're streaming Apex and you're just destroying guys on the controller and just melting them, I was like, "Yeah, this guy," you know? And then you had the gift of gab. You do, you know, you might say that you're shy, but you do have the a gift of gab, and I think that that's gonna go a long, long way because you continuously build relationships, and that's great.
Yeah, and I like what you just said, where you touched on being able to open up and be real and share your backstory. And that right there is how you make connections. That's how you make connections. There's a lot of streamers that just put on this fake facade and they're just putting out an image, right? And a lot of times, if their image is good, like say Dr. Disrespect, that's not really him, right? But he's got that image that everybody kind of likes. That's great for you. But if it's not something like if it's real fakey, people don't want to make a connection with you. They might watch you for a little bit, but they're not going to want to support you as a community. So I like how you said that, it's good to open up because that's how you make real connections. And that's what I
Yep.
think is really good about this podcast, because you can come on here, you can open up like you said. And I mean, this is what we talked about in the last previous video. I can pop onto an Iculous stream and I would never see in a million years that you read these books and you have all these quotes and lines just in your head ready to go
Yeah.
because you read these leadership books and things like this. And
Mhm.
how would I ever know that when you're just like sitting there grinding, murdering kids on Apex? Like, you would never know that. So like,
Exactly.
I love how we have this little opportunity to sit down and just let it all out, show us who you are, let your mind go, and just, show who
Yep.
you are. I
Yeah,
think
and
that's good.
I can't wait, you know, Slip, and I know you can't wait. I can't we can't wait to get small streamers in here that have, you know, their story to tell, and they don't have their own streams to tell that story on, right? They have this to tell their story, and I think that's where we're at.
Yeah, and you and me, we're nobodies. I mean, I don't have any huge following. I'm live right now, and I got this chat going, and there's nobody in it. And I don't have a big presence on Twitter. But I
Mhm.
mentioned this the other day. There's way more smaller streamers than there will ever be big streamers. So we are a force to be reckoned with. So if we
Yeah.
could gather all of these small guys and just promote a little bit of, whatever this podcast is, or promote each other, or, help each other,
Mhm.
likes, retweets, stop into their stream, up the view count a little bit, we can go places. We can go places. And as you can see from me, you can see from Iculous, we're not out to become the next greatest famous person. He doesn't even want to talk on this podcast. I don't want to talk on this podcast. We're here to help the people, right? We
Yep.
want to just engage a community, bring a community together so we can help each other. We're not in here to get a big buck. We're not in here to do anything like that. That's why I
Yep.
think Iculus is a great co-host, because he's a guy here to help you. And now you know a little bit about him, and you probably have seen and heard why he is the way he is and why you want to go follow him. So you better go
Yep.
follow him, because you better go follow him.
I love everybody, and you'll see that as I scroll through your guys' streams, everybody's streams. I try to get to a lot of people, and I try to give where I can give, and I try to talk where I can talk, and follow where I can follow. So on Twitter, on Kick, you got if you need something, you please reach out to me or Slip, and we got you. You know, that's the biggest thing. That's where
Yep,
we start.
there's a lot of free support that you can give people on Twitter. Likes, retweets, follows, whatever. That doesn't cost anything, and we're happy to do that. I mean, it costs us nothing. It harms us in no way. We'll do it for free. It makes
Yep.
no difference to us. Everybody should be doing it. Support the little guy.
Support the little guys.
Well, I think that's it. I mean, unless you got anything further to say, I think we have wrapped up a
Mm.
good first interview.
Right.
So thank you guys all for hanging out with us. Now we know a little bit more about Iculous. Next time you see us, we're probably going to be together, and there's going to be a new person that you guys do not know. So stick around, and we'll see who that person is. See ya.